Hey, it's Brian with the Daily AI Show. This week's Conundrum episode is called the AI Driven Parenting Conundrum. This is a really interesting one because it talks about how AI is now capable of providing real time parenting advice from sleep training to emotional development to even discipline strategies in education. And you have parents that are already starting to rely on these AI powered baby monitors as smart assistants and behavior prediction models and so on and so forth. But where do you draw the line? How much AI in parenting is a good thing? How much does it actually get in the way? Well, that's the topic we're going to listen to today. It's an interesting one. And here's the actual conundrum. If AI parenting tools can provide children with the best possible start in life, should parents feel obligated to use them, even if it means surrendering personal instincts, cultural traditions, and an unpredictable magic of human parenting? Or is raising a child meant to be a deeply personal journey where the lessons learned from mistakes, gut decisions, and imperfect moments are just as important as the outcomes? Let's listen in.
You know, it's kind of wild to think about how AI is popping up just about everywhere these days.
It really is.
But one place where it feels especially surprising, maybe even a bit unnerving to some, is the idea of AI having a hand in how we raise our kids.
Right. You think about parenting and it's like this deeply personal thing.
Exactly.
But then you realize, like, technology is already so intertwined with our daily lives, it's almost inevitable that it starts to touch on something as fundamental as parenting.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And when you start looking at it through the lens of data, efficiency, that's where AI starts to seem kind of intriguing, even in the parenting sphere.
Okay, so that's exactly what we're going to do today.
Yeah.
A deep dive into AI and parenting.
Buckle up.
We've got a bunch of really interesting perspectives on this, articles and things.
Yeah.
And we want to kind of walk you through the key takeaways, the exciting stuff, but also like the real concerns, right? Because this is obviously a landscape that's changing really, really fast.
It's moving so quickly. I mean, I feel like every day there's something new to consider.
So to kick things off, let's talk about the potential upsides, the promises of AI. And one that pops up a lot is this idea of data-driven decision support for parents.
Yes.
Now, that sounds kind of technical, but what does that actually look like, practically speaking, for parents?
Okay, well, think of it this way. AI systems can crunch massive amounts of data on child development, like way more than any of us could ever process on our own, right?
Yeah.
And from that, they can spot trends and then give parents evidence-based suggestions that are like specifically tailored to their kids' needs.
Okay, so it's not just generic advice, it's actually personalized.
Exactly. And for parents who are like maybe feeling a little lost or unsure, this kind of support can be really reassuring.
Like, okay, I'm not just winging it here.
Totally. Because the suggestions are coming from this vast pool of data, not just someone's opinion.
We came across this example of AI-powered educational tools in our research. And apparently, these are already making a difference for young kids, like actually helping them learn more effectively by adapting to their individual pace. And get this, even making it fun.
Right. Like learning should be engaging, right? And these tools can adjust to how the kid's doing in real time, kind of like having a personal tutor who knows exactly what they need.
It's pretty amazing when you think about it, like potentially leveling the playing field.
Exactly. Because historically, access to like top-notch parenting advice or even just the latest research, it's been limited by things like income or education.
Yeah, for sure.
But AI could change that, give more parents the tools and info they need regardless of their background.
Now, another thing that honestly every parent I know struggles with, it's just that sheer mental load of parenting, right?
Yeah.
And AI seems like it could offer some relief there too.
Oh my gosh, yes. Modern parenting, it's like this constant juggling act, schedules, meals, activities, all while trying to be like emotionally present for your kids.
It's exhausting.
It is. So AI could step in and handle some of those more routine tasks, giving parents that much needed mental break.
Okay, give me an example.
One of the sources talked about AI generating personalized meal plans and even shopping lists. So you don't have to stress about like what to cook every night. Is it healthy? Did I get all the ingredients? It's all taken care of.
That sounds like a dream come true for busy families.
Right. And it goes beyond just meals. Activity schedules, tracking milestones, even suggesting age-appropriate learning materials, or like helping you come up with a bedtime story when you're at your wit's end.
I mean, the possibilities are pretty mind-blowing.
They really are. And the idea is that if parents are freed from those logistical burdens, they can be more present and engaged with their kids.
Which in turn hopefully means less stress for everyone.
Exactly. A more relaxed and positive home environment which benefits the whole family.
Okay, but let's shift gears a bit and talk about how AI could also address the fact that, like, every kid is unique.
Absolutely. One size fits all. Not in parenting.
Right, so this idea of personalized learning and development seems really key here.
And that's where AI's ability to recognize patterns becomes so powerful. Because standardized approaches, even general parenting advice, sometimes they just don't cut it, you know?
Because they don't take into account each child's specific strengths and challenges and all that.
Exactly. But AI can analyze how a child interacts, how they respond to things, and then tailor experiences that are just right for them.
There was this example of AI-powered toys that can, like, actually boost creativity and emotional understanding through play.
Isn't that cool? It's not just about rote learning, it's about encouraging kids to explore and express themselves.
And for kids with special needs, the potential here seems huge.
Absolutely. AI can provide that really individualized support that can be hard to find with traditional methods, like adapting materials, giving customized feedback. It's incredible.
And what about, underserved families, maybe those without traditional support networks? It seems like AI could play a really important role there, too.
Absolutely. It's crucial to consider how AI can benefit families who might not have access to those resources, single parents, families in rural areas, those facing financial hardship.
The idea of having access to guidance literally 204/7 when you might not have anyone else to turn to, that's potentially life-changing.
It really is. AI can provide that consistent support and information regardless of circumstance.
And for parents of kids with rare medical conditions, being able to get specific, tailored information.
That can be so isolating, trying to navigate something so unfamiliar.
Exactly. But AI could connect those parents with the knowledge they need.
And another thing, the consistency of AI, especially in high-stress situations.
Right, because human support can be, well, human.
It's true, but AI is always there, ready to offer guidance when you need it most.
So from that angle, the potential for AI to create more equality, more opportunity, it seems pretty real.
It does. More accessible information, reducing the burden on parents, offering personalized support, it could be a real game changer.
But of course, as with anything powerful, there's another side to consider, right? And our sources really emphasize the importance of preserving what they call human-centered parenting.
Right, which really starts with recognizing that human connection, that bond between parent and child. It's something AI, at least as it stands now, can't replicate.
One source put it perfectly. AI can't hold the hand of a child who's hurting or laugh uncontrollably at a silly joke.
So true. Those moments, the hugs, the shared laughter, that intuitive understanding, they're so vital for a child's emotional development.
And it's not just about those one-on-one moments, right? There's also the cultural aspect, family traditions, values.
Absolutely. Parenting is deeply rooted in culture, passed down through generations, and that's something AI can't fully grasp.
And those subtle, nonverbal cues, a look, a touch.
That unspoken language between parent and child, AI just isn't there yet.
And those are the things that help kids develop their social and emotional intelligence, prepare them for the world, right?
Exactly. Those skills are learned through human interaction, not from algorithms.
Now let's talk about some of the more practical concerns. Privacy, security, the ethics of all this.
Huge issues, because a lot of these AI tools, they work by collecting tons of data about kids.
Yeah, their behaviors, their development, everything.
And that raises serious questions about, like, how secure is that data? Who has access to it? What are they using it for?
And a good chunk of parents are already really concerned about this, according to our sources.
Rightfully so, because the potential for misuse is there, data breaches, or even just using the data in ways that weren't intended.
Kids are especially vulnerable here.
They are, and their data needs to be protected.
Another point that came up is, could relying too much on AI actually hinder parents' own intuition, their problem-solving skills?
Yeah, it's an interesting thought because parenting intuition, it's not something you're just born with. It develops through experience.
Trial and error, figuring things out as you go.
Exactly. But if you're constantly turning to AI for every little thing, you might miss out on those learning opportunities.
Like, oh, the AI will tell me what to do.
Yeah, and then you might not develop the confidence to trust your own judgment.
One source talked about how families function based on their values, their stories, their experiences, and how important it is for parents to share those with their kids.
Right. It's about passing down that wisdom, shaping their worldview.
But if you're always deferring to AI,
it could undermine that crucial process of parents reflecting on their own beliefs and sharing them with their kids.
And sometimes messing up a little as a parent, figuring things out on your own, That's part of building those essential skills, right?
It is. Making mistakes, finding solutions. That strengthens your abilities and your resilience as a parent.
Another interesting concern is the potential for, like, cultural homogenization. If everyone starts using similar AI systems.
Yeah, because throughout history, cultures have developed such diverse ways of raising kids.
And they all have their own unique strengths and values.
Exactly. But if everyone's relying on the same AI, which is probably trained on a limited set of data, it could lead to a kind of flattening of those rich traditions.
AI, as advanced as it is still created by people.
Of course.
So it's bound to reflect the values and assumptions of those creators.
And it might not represent the full spectrum of how different cultures approach parenting.
One source pointed out how parenting is very individual and very fluid, constantly adapting to different situations.
Which is so true. But if we start standardizing everything based on data, we might lose some of those less quantifiable but equally important qualities.
Like creativity, resilience, cultural identity, all those things that come from diverse upbringings.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here, both the exciting potential and the real concerns. So the question becomes, how do we move forward? And it seems like finding that balance is key.
Finding a way to integrate AI in a way that supports human parenting, not replaces it.
One source gave this advice. Technology should complement parenting efforts, not substitute them.
Such a crucial point. Parents still need to be present, set boundaries, nurture those emotional connections.
AI should be a tool in our toolbox, not the whole toolbox, right?
Exactly. It's about augmenting our abilities, not handing over the reins.
And with AI becoming so pervasive, it feels like we all need to develop, what do they call it, critical AI literacy.
Both for ourselves and for our kids. And surprisingly, not many parents are actively seeking out information about AI right now, which is kind of worrying.
It is. We need to understand not just the potential benefits, but also the limitations, potential biases, privacy implications, all of that.
Absolutely. And kids need to understand how AI works, that it's not some magical, all-knowing being.
It's about preserving our human agency, making informed choices about how AI is used in our families.
Right. Fostering critical AI literacy empowers families to navigate this new landscape responsibly.
And circling back to culture, it seems really important that any integration of AI respects those diverse traditions and values, right?
Absolutely. Ideally, AI systems should be designed to be flexible and customizable to accommodate different family structures and cultural backgrounds.
One source talked about how the real bedrock of parenting is our values, our stories, our experiences.
That's what shapes our children, not just data points.
And parents should always feel empowered to override any AI recommendations that don't align with their own values.
Of course. Because it's that diversity in parenting that contributes to the richness of human experience.
And finally, as AI in parenting becomes more advanced, it seems like we're going to need some clear ethical boundaries and even regulations.
Yeah, definitely. We need to think about things like data privacy, setting limits on how AI can intervene in family life, and of course, protecting children from any potential harm.
There was mention of some early efforts, like the Artificial Intelligence Shield for Kids Act, that are starting to address these issues.
It's a good sign that lawmakers are starting to grapple with these challenges. It's so important.
So having those guardrails in place seems essential to encourage the positive aspects of AI while minimizing any potential risks.
Exactly. Clear ethical and legal frameworks can help steer AI development in a direction that truly benefits families.
Well, this has been a really thought-provoking deep dive.
I know, right?
It highlights this tension between the incredible support AI could offer and the irreplaceable human elements of parenting.
And both perspectives are so valid.
It's not about choosing one over the other. It's about finding that sweet spot, integrating AI thoughtfully, like a co-parenting model.
I love that, co-parenting with AI.
And this conversation needs to continue, right? Parents, tech developers, ethicists, child development experts, we all need to keep talking.
Absolutely. Open dialogue and collaboration are essential to ensure that AI serves the best interests of families.
So for everyone listening, the takeaway here is that AI is already playing a role in parenting, and it's only going to grow.
It is, no doubt.
The question is, how can we harness its potential while protecting what's truly essential about raising kids? That's the challenge, and maybe the most important parenting skill in this age of AI.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining us.
Absolutely.
And thanks to all of you for listening. We'll catch you next time for another deep dive.